Well, welcome everybody. Welcome back to Mom Co.
Episode 6 already?
Who are we? We're two moms alone in an attic.
This is not an attic.
This is a craft
This
room.
is a loft.
Alone
It's a
in a
loft.
loft.
It's above a garage. It's a loft.
Okay, we're in a loft.
Loft.
Welcome to Mom Co, otherwise known as Makers, Owners, Mothers podcast. If you guys are new here, I'm Jessica.
I'm Anna.
And we're moms, we're owners, and we're makers. And today we're going to talk about feeding the business and feeding the baby.
Yeah.
We're
What's this month's theme though? Because we're switching every month. We'll have a new theme.
Oh yeah, we started a new
We
theme.
just started a new theme.
It's called Newborn Trenches. Have you heard of it?
I'm just getting out of them. Because she's 8 weeks old.
I was
So.
going to say, I don't want to relive that. But yeah, and we're going to start out with how we usually do these podcasts. We start off with mom wins, daddy delights, and then we dive right on in.
Yeah.
So let's start off with our mom wins. Anna, what was your mom win this week?
Dude, my baby slept through the night. 2 months old, slept through the night. And I'm talking like 11 o'clock at night to 6:30 in the morning.
I'm very proud of her.
I woke up at 4 and I'm like,
who the fuck am I?
is she alive? No, it was more of like, I don't hear the baby. Baby's alive. It's baby alive. So I go in there and I like peek.
You gotta check for the chest.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. Go back to bed. It's light outside. And I'm like, I don't even want to go check on her because what if something happened? And I go in there and then I hear like, oh, and I'm like, okay. So it's like 6:30. What the hell? And then Casey got up and I talked to him. He's like, yeah, I put her down at like 11 when you went to bed. And
This is magical.
And she's 7 weeks. This was a few days ago. So she was quite 8 weeks old. And I know, okay, I know. Everyone's going to be like, there's sleep regression and enjoy it while you can and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I'm taking the win.
Take the win.
And that's what this is about.
That is a mommy win. I would love to experience that because mine's really not a win. It's just survival right now because we are 8 months tomorrow and we are gassy. We are teething. We are not sleeping. So the fact that I'm standing and caffeinated is my win.
The fact that we're even here recording
is my win. So that's my win. It's just getting
existing.
through. Yeah, getting through teething is not for the weak. So
no, I've heard that. But you're here and you're surviving.
Here.
And so being here and being upright is your win.
Being here in general. Let's dive into
daddy delights.
Yeah, what's your daddy delight this week?
It's today. She was born 2 months ago today, and I just remember like distinctly, and this is not like a recent daddy delight, but like my husband, he's very introverted and
stoic too.
Very stoic. And so after she was born, he giggled. Like I'm talking straight up giggled for like half an hour. I was like, who the hell are you?
Who's this man giggling in the hospital?
Yeah, so he was like giggly. And I just remember that being like such a moment, right? And so like that was my dad delight. And I wrote that down a while ago because I was like something I like did not want to forget is him straight up just like hysterically giggling and crying after she was born.
And I think it's nice to go back into like the first moments of seeing the person you love so much becoming a dad in that moment because it gets you through the hard times.
Oh my
too.
gosh.
Like when you're tired and you get mad that they don't wash your dishes or anything, going back to like he giggled incessantly when she was born kind of just ties
it's
you're
crazy.
Like, that's why I picked my person.
That's why I picked him as the daddy of my children too. You know, that's the other thing too. Yeah, that was a straight up dad delight.
So cute. He still giggles at her. He literally looked at her before he went up to record and he's like, why is she so cute?
I know.
And you're like, well, he made her, that's why.
He's so smitten. I know. He's like, why is she so cute? Like, because we made her. We're cute. And he's like, yeah.
He's so passionate about it, too.
I know. Oh, dad delight for you.
Mine is David's starting a new job.
Yeah.
And for David to start a new job, that's a really big deal because he's such a loyal human being. He does not like ending things or burning bridges, which he didn't do. But big steps for him are a big deal.
Yeah.
And he starts out on Monday, and the fact that he had kind of a week gap this past week of going from one job to this job. And he just took on so many like the house tasks that I've been just begging
thank you
for the baby. And the fact that he's like starting this brand new job, totally different career field too, and willing to do that while taking care of our baby. I'm like,
while taking care of you.
And taking care of me. I'm
Yeah,
like
let's be real here. Taking care of you too. Taking
I
care of
was
mom.
like, "I'm so proud of you for getting out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
trying something new, and then while you're in this transition mode, like, taking care of your family. Thank
And, like,
you."
wanting to better himself and learn, like, that just speaks volumes about him too.
I know. So that was
Aw.
my daddy delight this week. I love
See, I
him.
love that we gush about him, and we're just like, "You're so great," and now we can complain about no, I'm kidding.
We've complained before, it's fine. We had a good complain sesh before this, we needed therapy. We love them dearly, and our daddy delights remind us why we do.
Very much so. Everybody's human, though. Yes.
Everybody has a partner.
So, nobody told me topic. This one, I feel like this needs to be a multi-episode. This is going to be a multi-episode.
I think we're
Like,
gonna
later on. We're gonna talk about this more later on.
Yeah, because again, you're still new
It's
to it,
so phasey.
and
Is that a
I
word?
feel like it is. It comes and goes in phases,
Yes.
yeah, and it's so spotty, and
It's so inconsistent.
8 months in, 2 months in, still inconsistent, and it's how I think you look at it as a mom is how you better yourself and your baby for it too, and that is breastfeeding. Let's talk about what were your expectations when you were pregnant and breastfeed? Or like what like
like,
when your thoughts of breastfeeding?
I don't know if it was, like, necessarily that I was, like, naive, but at the same time, I
I
just
was.
yeah, like, I just thought it would I did not have the expectation of, like, "Oh, you just slap him on the boob." No, I didn't have that kind of, like, expectation. But did I think it was going to be this fucking hard? No. I didn't think it'd be this fucking hard. And, like, painful mentally, physically, emotionally.
Hormonally.
Everything, right? It's emotional, the physical pain, and then, yeah, mental pain too. And I didn't think that the guilt would be so bad. The guilt.
1000%. Sorry, I'm shaking my head for those that
She's
can't
just
see.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, the guilt. The guilt with literally everything related.
I think this is like the beginning of mom guilt is honestly stemmed
Yes.
from feeding your baby.
The beginning of mom guilt is like lactation consultant.
Oh my God, let's talk about lactation consultants. Because the videos you do see on social media of like, they walk in, hey mama, how are you doing? So true. That is true.
Or like, hey mama, how are you doing? You're doing it wrong.
Move your baby like this, and they
You
like
gotta do it like
finagle your baby like
this.
freaking
If
like
you
a
don't do this,
slinky.
if you don't do it this way, then they're not gonna do this. I remember we had a lactation consultant, and one thing that she said to me, and it just like burned in my head: "Don't raise a stacker." And I'm like, "What the fuck does that even
I
mean?"
never even heard of that.
Yeah, it was like basically don't have short feeds.
Okay, first off, they cluster feed, so then
First
that
off, they
mind
cluster
fucks you.
feed. Second off, like if she's full, I'm not gonna force her to eat. Like, don't raise a snack. I just like hear that
That's not
ringing in
nice.
my
I
head.
never heard that.
I told my mom that. She's just like, don't listen to that fucking bullshit. Yeah.
My expectations going into breastfeeding is again, I'm heavily influenced by like social media because
Yeah.
it's my job and I'm just a user of it. And so I just saw either people overproducing or not being able to produce at all. So I went with the mindset of, okay, I'm just going to go in the mindset of worst case scenario, I can't feed my baby. And so when my doctor asked, what's your plan for feeding your baby? I said, anything to get her fed.
Yeah.
I will do anything to get her fed. And they're like, that's the best mindset you can have going in.
Yeah.
So I was expecting it to be challenging because I just saw so many people like have challenges and struggles. I was fortunate enough because you don't know what the fuck you're doing after you give birth. They just throw
No.
it on the baby on your boob, literally. And they're
They
like,
literally do.
and it's so painful. Like, is she eating? Like, oh, she's latching. Well, I don't know what the
And then you're
latching
like,
means in the
all right,
first place.
how do we feed her? Like, that's the other thing too. Like, oh, your milk hasn't come in. What the fuck is she eating? What's going on?
Colostrum, yeah.
Yeah. And the transition from colostrum to milk, that was my biggest breakdown.
Yeah.
Mental breakdown. And we can talk more about that. But like the biggest thing for me was I thought that I won't have a problem, right?
Mhm.
I'll overproduce. If anything, I'll overproduce. It's gonna be so easy
Mhm.
and it's gonna be great and I've got this and I've got that. And then it was so not the case.
Mhm.
It was so not the case. What did you so you prepared yourself in the sense of like fed baby is best.
Yeah, I think we have different approaches, honestly, now
Yeah.
hearing you, because I was
Oh, yeah.
expecting not to produce at all, because that's what I've been, like, fed.
I was expecting the opposite. I was expecting to be able to produce and produce and
Mhm.
produce and even overproduce and be able to
'Cause sometimes
freeze
that's, like, what
some.
you see on social, like,
Yeah.
you hear what is it, like, the fat clumps or
Yeah.
something, and then people are like, "This is what I eat in a day to produce
Oh,
the milk
that
I do," and I'm like,
that
"Bitch, I
too.
don't do that either." So, when I was told my lactation specialist only saw me once, because she was like, "You're doing everything good." She just
Yeah.
finagled my baby really fast, and she's like, "Do you feel confident?" I'm like, "No," and
No.
she's like, "That means you're doing it right." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, thank you."
Yeah.
But I was told from the beginning that Danny was latching really well, and that's, like, the most important
Yeah.
thing. And I grew up with nieces, they had lip ties and tongue ties, so I was like, "Cool, she doesn't show signs of that, so that's great." And then no one told you, like, even if they latch great, the amount of worry you do have of what your baby's intaking.
This is where it really, like, mind fucked me is when you're pumping, you're literally looking at every fucking measurement and every ounce and figuring out how many ounces they're actually eating, and, "Oh my gosh, she only took this many ounces," versus if you're nursing, you're like, "Well, she took as much as she needs, obviously,
Mm.
so I don't need to worry because she took what she needed," I guess. That's the other thing too, is getting them to nurse consistently, and getting them to stay on, and getting them to,
I feel like
like.
there's a reason they call it cluster feeding, because it's a
Yeah.
clusterfuck.
It is a clusterfuck. I think cluster feeding is terrible, and I just remember, like, the first few days, we
When
weren't
it's just
we
colostrum
weren't
waiting for your
it's
milk to
colostrum
come.
waiting for your milk to come in, but I also just remember, like, feeding her and just being so tired, and then, like, Casey would take her, and then, like, literally, like, they'd go downstairs so I could have, like, a little break, and I just sit there and kinda, like, try to rest my eyes, and then 45 minutes later, like, not even
Instant
45, it's
hunger.
like 20 minutes later, you'd hear the crying, and it would get louder and
Mhm.
louder, and you hear him come up the stairs, and he'd be like, "Honey," and I'm just like.
I don't miss the footsteps.
But then it's like going from the colostrum to having your milk come in. There was one day when I wasn't producing anything, and she wasn't getting anything, and I'm like, "I don't know what to do," and I had the biggest breakdown. I had to step away. I just hadn't slept because I had tried to
Mhm.
feed her and feed her and feed her, and nothing was coming out, and it
Your
was
husband saying, "It's
fucking
okay."
awful, and I'm like, "No, it's not, because she's screaming because she's hungry,
Yeah, like, "You
and
don't
there's nothing."
understand, we are the food source, sweeties." Like,
Yeah.
I
So
think that's the hardest part, like, my husband had to overcome is
yeah.
that we're the food source and there's nothing you can do when we can't provide. Again, crying over spilled milk was,
Yo,
you like you said in the text, was invented by a man, because
that quote was
I have
definitely invented by
cried
a man.
over spilled milk so
Same,
many times so
same.
far. So many
Yeah,
times.
yeah. I just remember he was like, "I don't even know what to do." I was like, "Well, you gotta figure it out because I don't know what to do either." Anyway, so we had a
Yes.
can of formula, and he, like, figured it all out on his own. He was like, "Formula," and then he made a formula, and then all of a sudden, it was like, "This is okay. This is
Yes.
okay." And that was 6 weeks ago, and I still fucking obsess about how much I'm producing or how
Well,
much I'm not
that's I
producing.
don't know about you, but I have other mommy friends, and that's, like, one of, like, the first 5 questions, like, "How many ounces do you pump, like, per session?"
Is
And
it like that it's a competition?
I think it's a measurement of worth, honestly, or, like, how
Yeah.
are you doing. I think it's a easier way to say, "How's your pumping journey?" or "How's your breastfeeding journey?" Because it's a weird sentence I ask. They're like, "Oh, how much does your baby eat?"
I would rather somebody ask me that though than be like,
"How many ounces are you
"How many
pumping?"
ounces are you
How
putting?"
many or I
Like,
guess it starts off too, it's like, "How many ounces is your baby eating at a time and how
yeah,
often?" That's usually the first question I get, and I'm like, "Well, 4 ounces, and on a fucking good day, I guess every 3 hours?"
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's the thing is it's like, how do you even
And I think we're both so type
ask
B
that?
when it comes to that, where as
Yeah,
long as our baby's full, happy, like, we answer
and
the 3
fed.
questions, "Are you full? Do you need to be changed, or are you tired?"
Yeah,
I think we're good. Some people are like,
eat, sleep, poop.
yeah, I have a friend that's, like, exclusively pumping, and she had a freezer full, and she was like, "I'm pumping." She did the milliliters, and I'm like, "I don't know, I do ounces." So
Yeah,
she's like, "I do some blah, blah, blah milliliters a day," and I'm like, "What does that mean?" "That means 16 ounces." And I'm like, "Holy
Jesus Christ.
fuck, bitch. I don't."
500 milliliters would be like 60. I think 250 is 8.
Thank you. I
I
don't
think.
know outside of American math,
I think so. I
and
think
that's
I saw it on
probably
the bottle.
American.
I think I saw it on the bottle.
But I'm like, I'm producing enough because, like, I'm producing enough on my boobs. It's 4 ounces consistently, and that's all my baby has needed.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, "Does it matter as long as I'm making what she needs?"
Yep.
Now we're down to, like, maybe 1 or 2 formula bottles a day, which is pretty damn good because we went through a 6-week growth spurt, and that was where it was like feed, feed,
Mhm.
feed, feed, feed. We were back to cluster feeding, and that was where it was frustrating. But I've also, like, switched my method, right? I stopped counting the ounces.
I
Stop
think that's the
counting
best
the
thing a
fucking
mom can
ounces.
do is stop counting
Yes.
the ounces, and as long as your baby's happy and fed,
Yep.
and you're, like, probably wondering, like, "How do we know if your baby's happy and fully full?" I don't know about you, I did the weight method in the
Yeah.
first beginning is I'd weigh her before I fed her and after, and I'm like, "That seems like she's gaining weight consistently," and it
I
just kept going.
haven't even done that. Honestly, what it was is, like, we went to our 2-week checkup, and they were like, "She's gained 11 ounces. This is great. She's doing really
I'm
well.
like,
She's
"Fuck
not
yeah!"
failure to thrive. She's blah, 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 blah." And maybe I'm too type B on this, but looking at her photos and looking at her little chubby cheeks and her little chubby thighs, and she's
You're like, "I
growing
can
out
tell."
of her newborn clothes, I'm like, "See, this isn't a problem."
Mhm.
And at what point do you just say, "You know what? You're happy, you're healthy, you're moving right along. You're 2 months old and you're in 3-month clothes. And they're big on her, and that's fine. You're sleeping through the night. What the fuck more can I ask
Yeah.
for? And why would I stress myself out
Like,
more?"
yeah, because in the beginning for me too, I was using the Huckleberry app, and it was like, how
Oh,
many
yeah,
times I'm
these
feeding,
apps and stuff.
how many ounces, and somebody told me, "You still use an app? You're using an app?" I stopped using that after first baby, and I'm like, "Wait, you can break away from this?" Because that's
Yeah,
all I've known was
yeah,
how to count, and she's
before.
literally saying, she's like, "Honestly, after, like, 2 or 3 weeks, they're fine." Once I was told that, like, that glass shatter break in my head, I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't need to count." She's like, "Just trust your instincts," and
That's
that's
what our doctor told us
yeah.
too. Our doctor was basically like, "Don't get too caught up in all of this stuff. And if your baby needs something, they will let you know, or your body will tell you that they need
Yes.
something." And I'm like, "Okay, great." And so using formula as a supplement has actually been a lifesaver for us,
Mhm.
but there's still so much stigma with
Mhm.
using formula or pumping and not nursing and
Yeah.
like doing all these things, right? No, I can't just whip my boob out. I can't like
Yeah.
it's not that fucking simple. That's the other thing too. Breastfeeding is so different from everybody.
Everybody. It's like every boob is different, like,
Everybody,
every
every body, every
yes,
boob, every baby is
is different.
different. That's the other thing too, is what if your baby doesn't want to latch? What if your baby is not interested in the boob? What
Mhm.
if your baby likes formula better? That might
1000%.
happen. I
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah, I remember you telling me too, like, "Oh, we had to do formula." In my head, I was like, "Good for you. You figured that out, like, your baby
I've
needs to eat."
That was more of me telling you like we had to do formula. I'm really disappointed in myself.
And I don't it didn't click that you were disappointed because 'cause I'm just
Yeah.
like, "Go mama," like, you recognize that, and it
You said
wasn't
that made me feel better.
oh, I did
You being encouraging, I was like,
well, and then it didn't click for me until I had to give Danny formula, like, a week ago when I had to go away for the first time, and I'm like, "Is this how Anna felt?" It's a little heart aching,
yeah.
and you're like, "Am I not doing what" like,
Every time we make a formula bottle, I'm always like that.
and
Not and it kinda stopped it's kind of stopped.
I get goosies, like, thinking about it because you do feel a little guilt, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm feeding my baby, so I'm like, it's like a weird hormone
You're
drop
and
no
you're
matter
you're
what.
pulled. You're pulled because part of you is like,
Fucking feeding her.
"I'm
Great.
feeding her, she's happy, she's healthy,
What
she's
the
all
fuck's
this.
wrong with
What the
me?
fuck is wrong with me, and why can't I produce more milk?" And it's like, I am one of those people too, I maybe it wasn't a good approach, but I refuse to get up in the middle of the night to pump. Flat out.
I don't get up to pump at all.
I never have, like, unless she wakes up.
Yeah,
If she wakes up and she's
I just
hungry,
throw on a book.
I will nurse her, and that's fine. But if she's sleeping through the night, why would I wake her up? And if I'm sleeping through the night, it's more important for me to sleep through the night
Mhm.
than it is to get up and pump.
Like, at the end of the day, you need to feed yourself before you feed your
Yeah,
baby, like, that means sleep too,
yeah.
like, help yourself,
But
baby.
do I pump first thing when I get up? Absolutely. Do I pump right before I go to bed?
Mhm.
Absolutely. But there's also that's that mental health. I do set an alarm for 3 hours roughly every day because I legitimately forget. And then you
Yeah,
put
I was
so
like, "You're better
much.
than me about that because
Yeah.
I just feel I'm like, "Oh, fuck, I need to pump,"
Yeah,
and
but you're 6 months ahead of me.
yeah, it's
And in 6
true.
months, I probably won't be like that.
I was probably that way at, like, 4 months because as soon as I went back to work,
Yeah.
I was just like,
You
"Oh,
get
I need to
caught
pump."
up in
Yeah.
doing things and you're like, "Oh, I gotta pump," and then you start doing other stuff
So
and
I
you're
was
like,
like,
"Shit,
shout
I gotta
out
pump."
to the moms that leave
Yeah.
timers because I have a new coworker and she was telling me, she's like, "How do you not set a timer? Like, how are you not pumping?" And
You
I'm
just
like
kinda
I'm like,
instincts.
feel around and she's like, "Wow, that's impressive." And I'm
Yeah.
like, she's like, "How much are you pumping?" And I tell her and she's like, "Oh, I'm producing that much too." I'm like, "You just choose to
Yeah.
relieve yourself faster." And that's another thing is what about your supply is the question you're going to get asked the most from other moms. Like, do you worry
Yeah.
about your supply? And my philosophy again, if I'm out, I'm out.
Yeah.
we go to formula. Yes, it does
That's
suck to pay for it.
That's
but
mine.
anything to feed your baby. Like
Our OB gave us a couple cans of formula to start, and like when we were pregnant, and
that's
that's the
nice.
formula that fucking saved us.
Well, that's what we should tell people too. If you're a
Yes,
pediatrician,
pediatricians and OBs will give you guys formula, and hang on to that shit just in case.
hang on to that shit just in case. But also, that's the thing. Your pediatrician will give you formula if you're
Yeah.
ever in
In
need.
need.
There's so many companies, like all the formula companies, they'll give
Oh,
you
they'll
free
give you
supplies.
samples too,
We
yeah.
did baby lists, and I don't know about you,
Oh,
but the
yeah.
baby list boxes comes with like formula. Sign up while you're pregnant. As soon as you find out you're
Yes.
pregnant, sign up for all that free shit because they'll give you coupons. I get Infamil coupons still, and I'm like,
Really?
yeah, and Similac, and I'm like, I don't use
Dude, give me the Infamil one.
Well, I will. I didn't use Infamil. I was like, I don't need
Yeah,
these.
no, we use Infamil, but now Costco carries it, so.
Costco carries Infamil now?
Yeah.
Go Costco.
We love Costco.
We love Costco.
Costco's the best. Huggies and Infamil.
Feel free to sponsor us, Costco. Hashtag Costco.
Hashtag.
What is it? Hashtag Costco.
Hashtag. Wow, that's really cringy.
Let's talk about the pain. Because
So that was like that's kind of the emotional pain we just talked about.
emotional
And
but
mental.
physical.
The physical pain.
No
Yeah.
one told me about the physical pain because it just looks so easy.
The physical pain hasn't been that terrible, if I'm being really honest. But it does catch me off guard. It's usually not bad, but then when it hurts, it's like, oh, fuck, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
But also the letdown,
Yeah.
that tiredness,
Weird sensation.
the hormone dip. I never expected to have a hormone dip like that. The
Yeah.
letdown is my biggest hormone dip, and I will say that's probably plays a key factor into my postpartum depression.
Maybe we should explain what the letdown is for people because they may not
Oh,
know. Especially if you're like, if you haven't had kids or if you're not breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Letdown is.
So the letdown is once your baby latches on and starts to suckle a little bit, then the milk drops down.
Yeah.
And that's essentially the letdown. So all your boob signals baby's eating.
Yep.
I give you all of the milk. So that way, like, you're not just leaking continuously throughout the day.
Yep.
The letdown's kind of that signal to your body of like your baby's eating.
Yeah.
So
But getting the letdown in your pump, that's the painful one. That's the painful one. But then once it starts flowing, it's like, okay. Although there are times when I'm like, oh, like you said earlier, oh, it's been 20 minutes. And
Yes.
times it's like, fuck, it's been like 3
2.
minutes.
The timer on your pump is going to be your worst enemy in life, and I'm sorry.
I fucking hate it. So the pain, the physical pain, and then like the myth of how it's so easy. Yes, it is instinctual though, I will say.
Mhm.
It is instinctual. That is not a myth.
Rooting alone is
Rooting
the craziest
alone
thing
is
is
the
when you see
craziest
like a tired baby go.
Oh yeah.
That's
And they like
also
do the
creepy.
like whip
Yes!
your head into your chest and you're just like
Like a
that's what she
freaking
does.
I was like, my
Like, what
baby
are you
did not have
doing?
this much action in a long time.
I know.
It's a whole different kind of motor bone. You're like, I don't
It's like
like
I don't like this one. No, don't do this. But yeah, the rooting is instinctual. The breastfeeding is instinctual.
The fact that they can
too.
smell you
Oh my god.
and they start rooting.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke. My
Well,
sister-in-law,
babies are incredible.
they're again designed to survive.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law was like running away at one point, and I'm like, "Why are you running away from your baby?" She's like, "She can smell me. It's not time to eat yet." And I'm like, "Wait, she can smell me?" She's like, "Fucking crazy."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god." And
Totally.
it's so real because once I had my baby, I was like, "She fucking smells me."
Yeah.
She's going
Samesies.
It's like those weird fish from SpongeBob.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. And like the smell thing, I didn't think was real.
It's not time to
Ugh.
drain me dry.
Yeah,
Because
and
it's
that's the
so
thing they do.
draining.
Oh my god.
Like, I've never-
Physically too.
Like,
yeah, the pain, the exhaustion.
David will look at me and I'm just
Oh.
holding him and he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
fine."
And can we talk about how we are total bottomless pits with food?
It's like the movie 17 again.
Yeah, and
with
you,
Zac
like-
Efron going, "I'm hungry.
And
I need to die."
and you like the guilt with eating so much though too.
Yeah, why am I
hungry?
eating
Why am
all
I
the
eating?
time?
I
It's because
don't-
you're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And you do burn a shit ton of calories while you're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, where I want to burn the calories is my belly. And it's not happening. It's fine.
I know. I just feel like I'm always fucking hungry.
Always. And there's a guilt with that too. You're like, I need to stop fucking eating. And
yeah.
if it's
like I'm gonna get fat, and then it's
Yeah.
like, well, the scale's saying I'm actually losing weight.
I haven't stepped on a scale. My doctor is like, yeah, you don't need to do that anymore. Thank you for my mental health. I don't need to do that.
No. You feel like a bottomless pit. You feel just totally drained. You're
Mhm.
exhausted. You're hurting physically.
Mentally, emotionally.
You're mentally and emotionally, and it's just breastfeeding is the fucking hardest, I think, and we just literally had this conversation. Way harder than giving birth.
Yeah.
And I would say even easier than the pregnancy because you're going to probably, more than likely, depending on you or whoever, anyone, you're going to breastfeed longer than your pregnancy.
Yeah, and somebody told me to I think it was my doctor, and she's like, "Yeah, you're officially, like, out of postpartum 6 months after you're done breastfeeding." And I was like, "Come again? After breastfeeding or birth?" And she's like, "Breastfeeding." And I'm like, "So, the thing you encouraged me to do for a year if I can? Like, or
6 months after that?
I'm like, "You're telling me I'll have an 18-month-old and I'll finally feel normal?" And she's like, "Yeah,
Great.
yay!"
And then at 18 months, you're gonna wanna have another one and do it all over again.
I don't want another one.
That's where I'm at too, dude.
I'm like, "Don't touch me, David, please."
Yeah. Or, like, people are like and then you're like,
That's
"Shut
a
up."
whole episode in
That's a whole
itself.
episode.
What
Yeah.
about types of pumping? Because there's
Types of pumping.
so like on social
Yeah.
media, there's the Spectra people, there's the hand pump people, there's the portable people. We're portable people, I would say.
I was a hand pump person for, like, the first 3 weeks, so I was afraid of my pumps.
Still,
Straight up,
I'm
dude.
still afraid of my pumps.
Straight up, I'd look at the box and be instantly overwhelmed. But it was just at that time, I was like, every time I'd look at the box with the wearable pumps, I'm just like, I can't. I'm too
Mhm.
overwhelmed. And so I hand pumped for a long time.
Way easier.
Way easier.
You're basically influenced to have like several different pumps in your arsenal.
I have
And
one because the insurance company paid for one.
bingo.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. So my sister-in-law's like, "Get the Hawkeye, you're gonna love it because it just drips while you're feeding." I hated that thing because it would fall off. I just didn't like the suction is too
I
long.
didn't even
The
try.
ladybug thing, I've tried that too. I just didn't like it. I'm like, I'll just feed my baby on one side or hand pump after is
Yeah.
fine. Hand pump, didn't mind that at all because when my milk was still coming in and my boobs were still
Yeah.
in pain, that was fine. My boobs are numb now. I feel nothing. It's really sad. And then I was trying the portable pump. We have the same. Is it Lancino? The
Yeah.
brand? We have the same one. Washington State Insurance.
Yep. Yep.
Free. If you don't know about that,
Oh,
check
yeah.
your state and make
Check
sure.
their insurance company too.
Yes, that you can get that shit for free. Do not be buying that if you don't have to be buying it because that's expensive as hell. But I would pop that on, and I tried that even when my milk wasn't coming in, just to start getting my body used to
Stimulation.
it. Not the fun kind.
No.
But yeah,
That's how you got the baby.
I was basically doing it just to get used to it. And honestly, I think the portables are just fine.
I've
that's what
gotten
I
used
needed
to it.
do.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it, and I don't mind it.
But the mom guilt I get with it for my friends are like, "You don't have a Spectra too with your portable?" I'm like, no against Spectra. I'm sure it does suction more, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want a thing to hold and
Yeah.
another. I don't want another thing to wash.
I don't want another thing to make me feel bad for not producing enough
Yes,
milk.
because my friend that's exclusively breast pumping, she has the Mom Cozy, the 2 Spectras, like the pink one
Oh
and
my
the blue one, 'cause
God.
those are different. I have no idea. And I don't know. There's another Willow. The Willow. She got all 4 of those.
Oh my God.
And I was
It's
like,
like $1,000
and
in
first
pumps.
she's like, insurance, and then my husband's HSA, and I'm like, cool. I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
I was like,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
She's like, I didn't pay for anything, and
Sure.
I'm like, that's great, but why so many? And she's like, well, this one does this one, this one does this one. And I'm like, they all suck your boots.
I tried a different one too because somebody gave me like the mechanical parts.
Yeah.
And I tried it and I'm just like, no, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And it's okay if you do all the other ones, but I'm like, if you feel overwhelmed by it, you
That's where I
don't
was.
need to be doing
That's
that.
where I was. I felt overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I do like the wearable ones. Although it was pretty funny because I forgot I was wearing them and I went to go pick up my baby out of the pack and play and I leaked milk all over her and it got on her face and she was like, eh!
You're like, oopsies.
I was like, oopsies.
You'll become
kind of funny.
You'll become a squat pro when you have the portable.
Oh, yeah,
and you need
yeah.
a good
You
bra.
really do. You really do. Yeah. See, correct on both fronts. But
Literally.
yeah,
The front.
seriously, both fronts. I think it's just one of those things. It comes back to literally the root of everything. You just have to do what's best for you and baby.
100%. And if you feel overwhelmed, you're not the only one feeling
No.
overwhelmed by the whole breastfeeding journey
I-
or which pump to pump with, which way to feed your baby, formula or not to formula. Say some people just don't like the feeling
Yeah.
of breastfeeding, and that's fine too. Like, shout out to you for addressing yourself in order to feed your baby. I don't think that's selfish whatsoever. As long as your baby is fed at the end of the day, that's all that
That's all
fucking
that
matters. But if you have that guilt too, you're not alone. Like, that's the
No.
biggest thing is you're not alone.
Whether you're frustrated with your breastfeeding journey or your pregnancy or you're feeling alone, like, somebody else feels that way out there.
Yes.
There's such a stigma with so much, and that's an episode on
I
its
think
own
that's
too.
why we're here.
That's why we're here. Yeah. I think we kinda hit all that,
I think
actually.
so.
So now we're gonna go into our small business section, right?
Gotta feed a business just like feeding a baby.
Oh, yeah.
And there's stigma with that too.
Feeding a business, not just financially, but once again, so you have emotion and mental and financial with a business. You kind of don't have the physical part, but you kind of do though too, because like working craft fairs and stuff like that, even
Yeah, we're just producing the product.
producing the products, yeah. But you have the financial element way more too. So
Yeah.
feeding the cost of feeding into and running a business, and I think that you're right. It's like people always have an opinion on this. It's like breastfeeding. Well, people have fucking opinion on everything.
It's 2026. Of course they do.
There's a lot of assumptions made with owning a small business, and a lot
Yeah.
of them are cost and financial based. Like, I've had a lot of people be like, "Oh, because my full-time job is my business. Oh, that must be nice. You can just do what you want when you want." No, I can't. Or like, you could, oh, well, you could just take a few hours off and go do this. Or like, why
I
do you have to?
absolutely make no money if I do that.
And it's like, I finally had to, I tell people like, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. Do you
Mhm.
realize that? And if it doesn't get done, I don't get paid. And if I don't get paid,
I don't
then
provide for my
the
family.
the baby's gonna have to
The
figure out
lights
how to
don't
like,
stay on.
yeah, and the baby's gonna have to figure out how to poop in paper towels. I don't know, like
In the coffee filter.
in a coffee filter. No, not really. Not at all. Not at all. But it's one of those things though where it's like if you don't do it, it doesn't get done, right?
Yeah.
But people just assume that because you have the ability to have your small business, whether you're running it part-time, it's a side hustle, you're full-time, whatever, that it's like you have a lot of money and you can do that. And it's like the reason why I'm doing this is so I can make money, not because I have money.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get that confused too, and they're starting like, "I can't start this because I don't have enough money to start
It
up."
doesn't take a lot.
You don't need much to start. If you have a passion for it, you can start it, is always kind of been my philosophy. And yes, it is. I can tell you, I haven't been in the black since I've started, and I'm 3 years into it. I'm making profit, but you don't think about how you have to continually feed into it. It's not just a one and done fee. You have to pay for the business license
Yeah.
every year. You have to pay your taxes.
New equipment,
New
new
equipment,
product.
to keep putting it out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Subscriptions for different things.
Oh,
I mean, it's just it all adds up. And you're investing in that business and you have to reinvest. I mean, you could even say this too about like kids too. You have to invest in your kids too.
mhm.
But with the business, I've been doing this for 6 years full time. I've been
Mhm.
doing this on the side for decades, basically, couple decades. And it wasn't until I think 2 years ago where I finally wrote myself a paycheck. And it was like,
A big deal.
it was a
That was the coolest thing
big
ever. You
deal.
inspire me. I'm like, "It can
It
happen."
was so weird because I wrote myself a check and then like it was
I
weird.
light
It
a
was just
cigar.
weird. Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh my
did. I think I had a bourbon because I was just like so excited about it. But then I looked at how much it was and then I thought about all of the hours and the work and I really got upset. Not upset, but I was just like, wow.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like feeding the business, so many people expect instant gratification in this
So this
day and
is the
age.
other okay, so this is the other flip side of this, right? Where
Mhm.
people don't want to start a business because they're afraid to, but then you have people that think that, oh, I'm just gonna start a business and have a side hustle and make all this money. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be so easy and I'm gonna make tons of money. And it's like, if that was possible, everyone would
Everyone
be
would be doing
fucking
it.
doing it. And they're not.
Yeah, and there's a reason, like, we were talking about this too, like, we've seen people come and go at craft fairs. I've
Mhm.
seen businesses, like, open brick and mortar and shut down so
Yeah.
many
We've had our stuff in stores that have opened up and shut down and you
Yeah.
gotta go and pick up your stuff and yeah.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, but the thing is those people are expecting instant sales, and the fact that they're not getting those instinct is a, "I'm done. I need to shut it down. It's not profitable." I think you have to give things a good, like, at least a year.
Perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance, keep the momentum
Yep.
going like we
Yep.
talked about last time, and just keep grinding. And
Celebrate
that's
those wins too.
celebrate those wins, and what doesn't work, acknowledge what doesn't work. It's okay to
Yeah.
fail, is what we've said before.
Yep. And you
It's
will fail. You
Oh,
will
we don't
fail.
have to
But
fail.
failure doesn't have to be
No,
a bad thing.
no.
It doesn't have to be
And a
negative. It doesn't
failure
have to
can
be
still be profitable.
a failure could still be a win in its own
Mhm.
way because you can learn from your if you learn from it, then it is not a failure.
We've learned a lot many that's the thing is when you're a small business owner, you learn many failures.
Many, many, many failures, and that's okay. Yeah.
What do you do to feed your business?
What do I do to feed my business? What I do to feed the business is constantly try to like think of new ways to evolve, change, new ideas, innovation, pivoting. I mean, I feel like I'm just saying like buzzwords right now,
Pivoting.
but it's true.
I think the way
Marketing and evolving.
feeding your
Evolving.
business is thinking not just outside craft fairs, you go into brick and mortars,
Yeah.
you do lives,
Feeding doesn't always mean financial too.
does not mean financial. You invest in your products, like, I think you think of new ways to, like, how can that be an earring? I
Yeah.
think you do that really well. She does miniature books, guys, and they're adorable, and she just figured it out one day from just like,
I was
"Oh,
just like,
I can do that."
the latest one too is I started making D&D dice keychains
She
and
found a
earrings.
niche in a market.
Started making keychains and D&D keychains too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get the Gamers Haven to sell them. We're the boys by Warhammer,
Genius. Genius.
and then be like, "Here's earrings too," because I feel like keychains would do better. Anyway,
Yeah.
but there's a good way of feeding your business by understanding and researching your market too and
Mhm.
your audience.
And I think
Casting.
constantly looking at your inventory too and
Yes,
saying, "Okay, what's working, what's not working?"
and accepting that some things aren't working. Not everything's going to work.
Accepting is a big word.
Accepting.
That's really
That's a
hard
really, really
because
big word.
yeah, because I think for me, I'll paint something and I'm like, "This is fucking gonna sell," and then it doesn't,
Yes.
and I'm like, "What the hell's wrong with people?"
Or do you do something and then it does sell? And
Yes! Fucking bookshelf mugs, guys.
So how do you feed your business?
Reinvesting into my product every freaking time. I think that's one of my niches is
Same.
my price point,
Same.
and I have to buy in bulk. So that's
Yeah.
a big
That's a big cost.
yeah. And so reinvesting that, and then you have to factor in the glazes,
Yep.
my fire time, so my electricity bill, which thank you, Dad, for still helping me with that part. So just constantly thinking of like that and keeping my price point. That's how I'm able to keep feeding it.
Yeah, but that's why I bought a bunch of your shit when I first like met you because I'm like, this is so cute and it's only this much. I need this and this and this and this.
So many people do that, which I appreciate my customers for that.
But that's the same thing with
Mhm.
my product too. Or it's the price points. Your price point is wonderful.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you. That's how I feed into my business. And then I would say I have to continually be inspired because I will make sets. And for how often I have to paint, I've mathed it out. I have to paint 11 pieces a night to keep up with the demand I have. And that was when I was at the peak. It's probably less
now.
now because I've had a baby and all of those factors. But also, it's hard to keep feeding the business when you have those failures too. You just keep going, persevering.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, I live for the high of the best joy I've ever had again. Like,
Yes.
how else do you feed a business?
With blood, sweat, and tears. That's how I do it. Blood, sweat, and
Surprisingly, a lot of
tears.
blood. I've cut myself many
A
a
lot
time.
of blood and tetanus shots because I work with metal. And
Oh,
if I
yeah.
cut or like I've worked with pliers and
Mhm.
punctured my fingers and yeah,
Fair.
I have to keep up on my tetanus shots for that.
Should be cut.
But you
I'm
probably
hungry.
yeah, me too. You probably got a tetanus shot pretty recently. Well, yeah, you probably got one when you were pregnant. Did you get your Tdap?
Oh,
Whooping
yeah.
cough? That's tetanus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I got my tetanus shot too.
And we're done.
Pause.
We will be right back. We how to do business, like small business stuff.
All right, so we got trials, errors, tools, and tips.
Mhm.
So what's popular today isn't going to be popular next week or even next year, and that's true. Like with parenting, with trends, right? Obviously,
Mhm.
that's pretty self-explanatory. But also with creating stuff for your small business. Like I
Yes.
know that there are earrings that I've made where I'm like, this is going to be a hit, and then it ends up like we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's like it ends up being a total failure. And you're
Mhm.
like, now I have 15 pairs of the same pair of earrings because I thought they were going to be so great.
Mhm.
And you're like, what do I even do? And yeah, you clearance them out and everything, but it's so hard to predict what's going to be popular.
And I think that's kind of where the pivoting and coming up with new
Yes.
ideas, it's like, how can I basically reinvent the wheel with the stuff I have?
Yeah.
And kind of creating that demand.
Yeah.
Because, like, yes, you have like some pairs that don't do well, but you can put them into mystery bags.
Or like as a gift or promo or into a shop or something like that. The other thing too with that is, and I'm sure you ran into this too, but if I think a piece is going to be popular now, I do basically like a trial run where I'm only gonna make, like, 3 of them
Oh, yeah,
and
same.
see
Yep.
what happens, and if all 3 sell, then I know, okay, I need to do
There's a
maybe, like,
demand.
5 or 6 of them.
Me, again, with those book mugs.
Oh, the book mugs.
And then same with other stuff. Like I have a ladybug set that does really well. Noticed it started fading out because those who loved it were buying it. So then I redid the design with different colors
Yeah,
and suddenly it started selling out again. So it's kind of thinking, how can I like again,
innovate.
yeah, innovate? How can I change it to go with the trends or the vibes or the setting of that seasonality too?
Yeah,
It's
because
all
ladybugs
seasons.
probably aren't gonna be popular in the fall, right?
No, yeah.
But in the summer and the spring, forget it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I've learned sunflowers, only
Every
thought was like a summer thing.
all year.
All year
All year
long.
long. People
Don't
love
know why.
sunflowers. We just did a live event for
Uh-huh.
Earring Empress, and the same thing where sunflowers for some reason
Always would do well.
always do
There's
well.
always a sunflower lady.
Yeah, always.
Okay, so then we're moving on to trials and tips for babies, tools and tips of what we learned from breastfeeding
Yeah.
struggles.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I learned early on with my child is when bottle feeding, there was a point she would get so frustrated, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's rejecting my milk. Oh, something's wrong. She's getting frustrated really fast.
Mhm.
I used a simple Google search. It was nipple sizes. And as soon as I changed the
Yes.
nipple sizes,
'Cause of the flow.
happy. The flow.
So
And
we
no
had
one told me
and we
nipple
had that happen
sizes.
too, but it was the opposite. It was
Oh.
too much for her at first because she was so tiny.
Yeah.
So we had size 1s on our
Is there a size 0?
there's a preemie size.
See, these are the things no one tells you.
This is why we have this podcast. But there's a preemie size, and our OB told us this too because we were talking about it. They like the bottle because it flows quicker for them, and they get more, and blah blah blah. And if you want, she's so tiny. Like, see if there's a preemie nipple size so that it matches your flow. But then
I'm
she
learning
got
so much
and
today.
she got bigger though, and so then
Mhm.
we had to go back to the ones. So now it's like we have to keep an eye out and see when it's time to switch to
Yeah.
buying 2s.
And it happened so fast because we're on
Happens so
3 now.
fast. See, I'm wondering if we need to go to 2.
I don't know. I feel like that's soon, but I don't
How do you
remember.
know that?
Yeah, exactly. But if she's getting
This might-
frustrated with the bottle.
She was getting frustrated with the bottle because she was in her 6-week growth spurt and she was just cranky
Yeah.
and frustrated. Because it really depends on her mood too.
I learn something new every day.
That's being a mom.
And then next, I talked about it earlier too. The scale method is something I use, and it's really helpful. I learned from my sister-in-law of if you just feel like you're not feeding your baby enough and
Yeah.
you just have a postpartum anxiety, get a scale. I got mine off of Marketplace. It's like $10, and it's like a baby scale.
Mhm.
And I kept her clothed in the same thing, or just placed her on before I fed her, then weighed her again, and that's like I saw a
It
weight
tells you
difference.
how many ounces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually really helpful for peace of mind. Shout out to
What
Dax.
else? Picture method. So I've used this. I know it's kind of controversial almost, but it's like I make enough that like what I make in a whole day is enough for her. So we're not combining days.
Mhm.
And it's great. I like the picture method. That's all I really
I
have to say.
combine days.
It actually put a lot of my anxiety on if I'm producing enough for her at ease because I physically saw that this is what I'm producing throughout the day. She's going through all of it and maybe one formula bottle. I'm doing enough.
Mhm.
It really helped change my
And for those
perspective.
who don't know the pitcher method, there's lots of methods with storing your breast milk. You'll learn this in the breast milk life. Pitcher method is the one I researched. It's just produce the milk, put it in the bottle. Then once that bottle's full, you can put it in a pitcher and combine with other ones.
Yeah.
I would combine, you can store it up to 4 days
Yep.
all together, and
Yep.
then you freeze it. And
Yep.
then that's how I was keeping my supply going. The controversy is the melatonin usually and then mixing. So it's like not the same amount of fat or not the same
Yeah.
amount every time. And your baby needs that certain type. The doctors, I've talked to my pediatrician about this, and she's like, yes, there is melatonin in your night one, but she's like, there's not enough that impacts the entire
Yep.
picture. Again, baby's being fed, that's all that matters.
Yep.
As long as the breast milk itself is not spoiling, you're fine.
Well, my doctor said too, so she gets a little bit of melatonin. Okay? A
To
little
sleep.
bit of melatonin during the day. Not a big deal.
No.
Not a big deal at all. And also, like, he even said too, like, if you're, because usually what I'll do is I'll get up in the morning, I pump right away, and then I drink my coffee. And he's like, if you have like a cup of coffee or a caffeinated beverage before you pump too, if you mix that milk with the melatonin, it kind of balances it out. And I was like,
I didn't even know that, even better.
great. But there's such small amounts of each
Mhm.
caffeine and melatonin
That's another
It's
topic
yeah.
too, bringing up of breast milk is alcohol too.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much stigma around
There's a
that.
lot of controversy with that.
And when I was told by my doctor is if you can drive, you can feed your baby. Is like
Oh,
how
yeah,
you can
and then
drink.
you get people that are like, "Are you pumping and dumping?" And I'm like, "No, because
No.
they're not practicing no one practicing that
Again, crying
method."
over spilled milk.
They're telling you not to do it anymore.
No. If you are pumping and dumping, please research again because there's been so much research on
There's
this
been
to help back and talk to your pediatrician about
Yeah.
it because I think that helps reverse the stigma around pumping and dumping.
That's true. Well, that's it. That's a wrap, isn't it?
I think we talked all we need to know. If you guys have any other questions on breastfeeding or feeding into a business of like what you need, feel free to email us at momcopodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to visit our website and fill out the cool form too at momcopodcast.com.
Yep.
And follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube.
Yep, YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Music. Leave us a review too, because that's how we show up for other moms outside of our little bubble and other people wanting to follow small business related topics or just hear two crazy gals gab.
That's what we
That's
do.
how we show up.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
so
we like it. And hopefully you like it too. And if you like it, please leave a great review. for
let us know. Let us know we're doing something that you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, find something else.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Bye, guys. Good night.